Go. So, guys, good evening. It is Thursday, the 10th of May. I should know my dates by now because every single week I always have to look at this phone and find out what date it is. But it is Thursday, the 10th of May. We're into the second Thursday of the fifth month of 2018, and I spoke to someone this morning, and I said to them, like, where's the year going? Like, how fast is this year going? It's frightening. I thought 2017. Well, 2017 did go fast. I think as you get older, every year it goes, and I honestly can't believe that we're nearly into the middle of the month for the fifth month of 2018. But hey ho, that is it. That's what life is all about. It's a roller coaster adventure. And so tonight is our team training call, and I'm really excited about listening to these guys because we've got a couple on board that are from our country, but they're living in their country. And so I reached out to Jerry and Paul only a few days ago now, and Jerry kind of worked out a few bits and pieces and made a few cancellations and done a few changes, and she said she'd love to be on it. And these guys are doing amazing things at the moment. They really are. They're working their business, and I got to have a really good conversation with them in Vegas. They probably had a more interesting conversation with Raz
No.
on the day after the convention.
Oh, yes.
That's a completely different story altogether.
It is.
As always, give these guys the respect. Get your pens and your paper out, because these guys are living proof that networking works, and that there's a lot of people in the UK at the moment that whether they think it's a burnt market, I don't know. Whether there's a lot of people that go from company to company to company to company, and there's a lot of people that think that if only we lived in the US, then it would be so much easier. And this is why I'm looking forward to listening to these guys tonight, because they're from here, but they live there. So these guys are living proof that what they're going to tell you tonight is honest. Because for all of us, or for all of you that think, well, America's easy, America's easy, networking in America's easy. Like, these guys will tell you the truth and the struggles that they're having, and it's exactly the same as what we're having over here. So, I appreciate you guys jumping on. I know it's been very short notice, and I appreciate you, making the changes to be with us tonight and being our special guests. And we do appreciate you, we respect you, and I'm looking forward to this myself. So I'm going to throw the call straight over to you, Jerry. And I know you said that Paul's going to join us shortly, but guys, just if you've got pen and paper, get it ready. I'm going to mute myself out, but Jerry, the call is over to you.
Ooh. Well, thank you very much for inviting us. And I'm going to talk briefly, give it a bit of background, but also telling you what we're doing. And we've had to sort of keep revisiting what we're doing to find out what's going to work for us. So basically my background, and I'm not going to tell you my age at all. I was a nurse and a midwife for 35 years at Pontefract initially. Of course, maternity unit is no longer there. And then I did a degree in English law and went on to be the risk manager midwife at the Bradford Royal Infirmary, which I loved. But I was getting burnt out, and hence when Paul came on the scene, he's always lived and worked abroad, and he joined his company in England for that reason, that he could travel Europe and with the potential of the US market. We'd only been together a few months when he was offered a job out here. So we were traveling backwards and forwards to the UK for 3.5 years. And we didn't get married till 2009, and I moved over in 2010. So he was here in 2006. And the reason being, I'd committed with work for issues that I'd got, and I promised that I would see some things through. And my family, obviously. So I have a daughter, Gemma, who lives in London, and she's a brand and retail consultant. I have to look because she keeps changing her title. So she's got her own business in London. My son Liam is a firefighter and a black cab driver in his spare time. So he's done the 3 years doing the knowledge to be a black cab driver. His wife is a quantity surveyor, and they have a little baby girl, Raimi. We absolutely adore her, and Paul hasn't even seen her yet, so she's 8 months now. That's the thing side. But there are why. And obviously, I've been in network marketing before, and how I got into DC is I've been friends of Rachel and Andy Roberts for quite some time before I moved over here. And Andy, we stayed in touch via social media, which has been great. So Andy contacted me and asked me if I'd heard of this wine company called Direct Sellers. And I said, no. He said, well, it's a US company and so on and so forth. And he said, I've been approached by somebody who I didn't know then it was Ben Cocaine, because Ben knows my son Liam, and they lived literally around the corner from each other, bizarrely. So I said, okay. He said, well, I'm going to go back and I'm going to research it, but I'm really interested and intrigued by the compensation plan as well. So I said, okay, come back to us, which he did, and obviously asked us if he wanted to watch the video and what have you. So Paul was looking for something for when he retires. I was already in network marketing, and I've also got home staging business. So I was, I'll drink the wine. This is maybe your business. So we looked into it, and Paul's like, come on, it's a no-brainer. We drink wine anyway. So why not? Let's do it. So I said, well, I'm definitely up for it. So that's what we did. We joined. Now I'm going to say to you guys, it was a very slow start. And as I say, I network an awful lot. So we weren't out of the stalls running 100 miles an hour and signing everybody up. We weren't doing that. But we had to find our niche. We got a couple of customers, but there was something missing. And we've had to go back and go back and go back to find out and figure out what it was that was missing and what we could do that was different to what other people are doing. Now, over here, there's quite a large group in Atlanta, direct sellers people, and we have connected with them. But obviously, we're from the UK as well, and we're part of your team, the UK guys. So we're trying to sort of see what everybody's doing. And we were invited to a wine tasting. But it was about, I don't know, there'd be about 75 people there. So it was quite a huge group. And that's where we picked up what they were doing, and we decided to look at doing it ourselves. So we had our first one at home, and we were a bit nervous, as you are, and not knowing what to do, and so we decided to emulate what they were doing to a certain degree. So we tried to keep it fun, because at the end of the day, if it's not fun, you're not going to get anywhere. So don't be too structured about it. Our first one we introduced the 5 S's, which is quite fun. And then we asked people to go through it, each wine that we tasted. So we always do 2 whites and 2 reds. We look at the pairing notes to see what they've paired it with, but we don't go crazy. Now, we've partnered with, if you can hear the noise in the background, guys, we're having some work done on the side of the house. So I apologise for that. So we partnered with a girl that is a Pampered Chef representative. Now, I know that they're not in the UK. They used to be in the UK, but their market didn't take off. And she's really good at meal preps and different things and coming up with ideas. And she's got cooking tools to do it, which is Pampered Chef. But we keep it simple. We always do a charcuterie board. So we've got different cheeses, crackers, and different meats, prosciutto, some beef, some salami. So if you were ever stuck For red wine particularly, you can do that, and that pairs well with red wine. We pick up something from the white wine, so maybe it's chicken pieces, and she will do a few, in the frying pan, doing a bit of chicken. Last night she did pasta, but it was zucchini. So she spiralised it and just added some cream sauce, a bit of bacon, a bit of flavouring, and we paired that with the white wine. It took her like a minute to do that, and it went down crazy. The second bit, we did some tiny chicken pieces, just chop them up, threw them in the frying pan, put a bit of rub on, and whip that up and serve that with cocktail sticks. So what we do, we let people try the wine first without any food, and then try it again with food. And the difference is can be really quite astounding. Particularly, the reds have gone down really well. And a couple of the whites they've found, I'm not really sure about this one. Try it with this. So they've tried the food. It makes huge difference to the flavours. So that promotes discussion between everybody. So when we've finished, I do a presentation, keep it small. I do that first, actually. I'm skipping the thing, but I do that first. I don't go into depths about, you can be a customer, and you can do this and do that, or you can be a business builder. I just briefly touch on it because I think if they want to know more, they're going to ask me. So I'm not selling. I'm just introducing and giving them some history of how DC started and where it is now and where the wines come from. So, it intrigues them. It's going to come to your door. You're getting wines from 10 wine producing countries, and I name them. And I usually say, and I know how good they are because I've drunk all of them, and just have to keep it kind of a bit of a laugh. So I don't go overboard, as I say, about join our team and this kind of thing. And last night there were 12 women, and then 3 of us. So Cherie, who's Pampered Chef, myself, and Kathy, who is going to be joining us as a business builder very shortly with a husband. So I know, I'm excited. We're going to meet them this weekend. She's an interior designer, lovely. Similar age group as well. So Paul's got a buddy to watch the soccer with. So I'm digressing. But anyway, and then we always do a door prize, a drawing at the end. So Cherie will do something Pampered Chef, not expensive, and we give a bottle of wine away. We don't charge for anything because Paul will go into this because we just don't feel it's appropriate, but we'll split it. So what we're doing now, if like last night, Kathy was hosting it, she's already a customer. So she provided a bit of wine, we took wine, and we also took some food as well. So nobody was out of pocket. We're happy with that. So what else was I going to say? Oh, yes. We do everything from home. So if there's we've got a host, we do it at their home. So depending on space, I would say, like last night there were 12, and that is more than enough, because if you get too many, it's hard to control the crowd, and they can get a little bit boisterous when they've had a couple of drinks as well. So we try and cap it at 12, which worked quite well last night, and we try and get people engaged and into conversation. So we've been doing that for the last 3 months, and it's made a huge difference. We started off doing 1 wine tasting a month, and I think we're doing 4 this month. And we're asking people if they'd like to host, and because they're enjoying it so much, they're volunteering to host. So that way we're meeting different people, and we're growing our team, but we're helping others who've joined us on our journey, whether it be a business partner or it's either a customer, then they can build their team as well. And so tomorrow night we're launching a couple that joined us a couple of weeks ago, so it's going to be their launch tomorrow night, and we're really excited about that. And she's really getting everything together. So So yes, I would say, look, you know, we're in it for the long haul. We're not racing ahead. We're not getting despondent if things don't work out, and if people say no, it's going to happen. But the thing is, you have to be consistent. You have to have a purpose. You have to have a good why, and you have to keep going. And the results will come, as we know, because, you know, we struggled like everybody else. It's a big country, and we've reached out to a lot of people, but bit by bit now it's starting to come together. So from there, I'm going to invite my husband. Oh, he's just coming up the stairs, to take my place. So thank you, guys. We're open to ask it for any questions at the end. So I hope I haven't taken more time than I've been allotted, but I'll switch over. There you go, buddies.
How much time has you left me, Paul?
Paul, you've got as much time as you want, my friend. The floor is yours.
Well, we haven't timed this, so we don't know. But thank you. Yes, hopefully we're going to still have some fun about this. So yeah, thank you very much, everybody. So I actually want to talk about business. Now, most people think business is boring, and really, what Jerry's just said is, she's the sort of front end and I'm the back end of the business, really, yeah. So for now, I'm going to say to you that the business is part of the overall equation, and it's something that we sort of don't want to talk about, or we just forget about. So I'm going to actually put a business hat on, okay? It's a DC hat. And I want you to imagine that you're wearing your hat, okay? And I think what Jerry didn't really say is, we came over to the US not knowing anybody, okay? And it's been a sort of a challenge to actually get in front of people. Now, Jerry, with a networking marketing team with the ladies, I'm actually running a full-time job, so I'm not really always in Atlanta. So she has been the front-end driver of the contacts. But it's not easy to do network marketing, in my opinion. It's not my swim lane. But it's hard work, because it ranges from hot customers to cold customers, hot market, cold market. And essentially, you have to find a balance between what your skill set is in terms of the skill sets of whether you do Facebook, whether you do network marketing, whether you do Instagram. So even though it's hard work, we plan, and we will not give up in achieving the dreams that we've set forward. You came into the DC opportunity for a reason. So therefore, just don't give in at the first sign of difficulty. And honestly, it's a great opportunity because I know, I'm not going to tell you why I know today, because that's not part of the training, but part of my why, which I will go through another time. But in my opinion, we take risks every day. Risks, they could be small or large, but the thing is, we don't know these people when we go out to the marketing of the wine tasting. They could actually accept us or just kick us out, we don't know. So there's a risk. But I'd say to you and recommend to you, just take risks. But we will never give in, and we'll never give up, and we're meeting our dream. Now, we're in, as Jerry said, in terms of the DC opportunity for the long term, and we continually, and I think you've mentioned it before, in terms of the networking teams like Ben, that we sow seeds, and we sow seeds all the time. That doesn't mean to say that we don't forget about people, because we've sown seeds maybe with people over a year ago, so don't give up on them. I'll give you an example. I've been talking to a lady for almost a year. She wants to sign up as a business partner. She hasn't done yet. She hasn't done it yet, but she keeps saying she's going to do it, but she has to make the decision. I'm not pushing it, because if I push her, she'll say, well, you told me to do this, Paul, and that's not me. She has to decide, and she has to decide what reasons that she wants to actually do with the business. So I recommend that you be driven with a purpose, be entrepreneurial, but be considerate, understand the people's needs and what they're doing, understand how their life is being sort of interjected with other problems that they have, and don't push. And therefore, I'd like to recommend you stay focused on your dreams and don't really compare yourself to other people, because you are in this business and you're in this opportunity for you and what you want to achieve. it's okay, good to compare, but the thing is, you want to achieve what you want to achieve. Now, I don't know if many people of you were actually on the live Facebook that we did, but I've said this before, prepare a plan. Now, I'm not going to go into the history of all my sort of career, but I was, and don't laugh at this, I was a qualified accountant by the age of 22. I was in front of board of directors by 25. But I've always done a plan. If it's not written, for 35 years, I've always planned. So when we started this business, I know that from a financial point of view, we will make a loss for the first year. For the second year, our intent is to break even. And our third year, we intend to make a profit. At the end of the day, after 3 years, if you're not starting to make a profit, you've got to question what you're doing. But essentially, try to live to your plan and to your dreams. And after the 3 years, you want to try and keep the tax man happy, because obviously you want him off your back. But the thing is, you want to make sure that you can meet avoidance schemes, and that's a strategy, but don't do evasion because that's illegal. And I can go into that and take your questions if you need to. So I've got a few notes here that says, network marketing is really about people. A lot of people say prospects, but essentially people may say no to you. And no means that, okay, they may not be interested at this point in time. People may not answer your calls. They may not answer your emails. So my recommendation is just park these people. They're not part of what you want to achieve, and don't waste your time, but they may come back in the future, or maybe not at all. So they are what I called a long time ago, free spirits. They can decide what they want to do and be with who they want to be with. Some people will also stop their maps in your team and not tell you. Some people will stop their credit cards and not tell you. And some people may cancel and not tell you. I go into the back office of the website every day, and I look to see where we stand in terms of where our customers are and what our business partners are doing. So what I'm also saying to you, that these people who do that, they're also free spirits, so they can decide what they want to do. I know it's going to be hard to get your head around this, but accept it. Just get on with it and move on, and still look at your dream. Now, I want to just talk about the opportunity. Now, I don't know how many of you have actually started your own business from a website point of view, but it costs a lot of money to set up a website. And the opportunity with DC, they provide the website, they provide the back office. And honestly, and Jerry referred to it, it's a no-brainer from a cost perspective. So what I'd like to say to you, from a business perspective, there's some short-term actions. Find your free-for-free customers, because once you get those free-for-free customers, your wine is free, no operating costs. Now remember, you've got your business hat on. I want you to think as a business person, you are not incurring any operating costs. And secondly, get dual qualified quickly as you can. I know it's difficult, but the thing is, you recover your initial investment. That means then you're free to do whatever you want to do. And when you sign up people, it's like an extra bonus, and it comes into your kitty of funds. So basically, both those concepts, find free for free and your dual quality, so your dual qualified, is basically zero op costs and return on initial investment. And lastly, what I want to say to you, and that's what I'm going to sort of slightly move here, is that I'm going to ask you a question. Do you really want to grow your business? Because you need to step back and think about it. Why? Because I've just talked about the free for free, and I've just talked about the dual qualification. But we bought glasses. Oh. We bought the pourers, the 1 ounce and the 2 ounces. We bought the banner. We bought the cards. We bought the brochures. We are taking this quite seriously in front of people that we see. If we don't actually see people, we can also leave cards and brochures. So there's actually opportunities, obviously in America, to make initial contact with those business facilities. We also buy wine, like Jerry said. We actually do the wine tasting. We provide the wine. We actually give the two red, two and two. Yeah. So essentially, we therefore schedule the parties. We actually invest time. So we schedule parties. We plan ahead, and we actually spend a lot of time together discussing DC topics. So essentially, we're running this without Jerry saying it, as a business, because we're doing that behind the scenes. And she's the front end in front of the customers. Now, I know that you all know that I like football, soccer, and I just want to leave you with a quote from Arsene Wenger, who's actually a man of the age at the moment, and he's retiring or going on to other things. But what I want to actually read is a quote that he put out. He says, "When you look at people who are successful, you will find that they aren't people who are motivated, but have consistency in their motivation." That's Jerry and me. We have consistency in what we do, and this is the approach we do in building our business with the DC Wine opportunity. So that's where we stand in terms of how we approach our market and how we approach the business.
And obviously as well, following up. So like Paul said, you know, you may have followed up with someone and they have not really replied to you. So keep it light. Don't be trying to promote your business all the time, especially on social media. And I think Anthony, not Raz, Anthony said last week, 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 posts on Facebook should be personal, about you having a laugh at whatever you're doing, because people are interested in what you're doing, and then one post about your business. So, you know, just kind of like be light-hearted. You know, the motto, get in, get wine, get social, is there for a reason and not to be forgotten. So, is that it, Nyla?
Yeah, I just want to say another time we'll do a longer term why. I think Jerry's already mentioned it. The short term is we're looking for retirement, doing some things that I don't need to then travel, do what I'm doing, full-time job, do the wine business, get to the beach, get to the golf course, get to holidays.
And help our family.
Help our family, and that's what I've got here.
Yeah.
And therefore, we're in a transition plan from essentially being financially strapped in terms of running to a company, but essentially moving to our own financial freedom. And that's what we want to do.
And having fun doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. You know, I spoke to Anne Ralston today, and I was on a call with Anne for an hour. And one of the things that we spoke about was the quality of the training calls that we've now got in place for the Thursday nights. And I said to Anne, I said, over the last couple of months, or since March, I think Helen kicked it off. But since Helen kicked it off, every Thursday, in my opinion, we've bought the best of the best of the best of the best of the best. We've always bought someone from the team. We've always bought someone from corporate. We've always bought someone from America. And, you know, you guys have followed suit. You know, that was absolutely, like, incredible, like, absolutely brilliant. And I'm just going to go through some of the notes that I took down, because I like to take some notes on every person's call. But going back to what you said about Arsene Wenger, Paul, and for those of you that are not football fans, or that are not Arsenal fans, or don't know who Arsene Wenger was, he was at the same football club for 22 years. Mm-hmm. Season after season after season after season, 22 years. Was he successful? Yeah, he won some trophies. I think they won the league 3 times, and I think he's the most successful FA Cup manager in history. But he was in an era where competition was, like, unbelievable, you know, like Sir Alex Ferguson. And, you know, sorry for those that are not football fans, but Sir Alex Ferguson was at Manchester United for 27 years, I think it was, won 13 league titles. It was the same era where Chelsea got money ploughed into the club from a Russian billionaire. It's now the era that Manchester City have got these, like, sheiks in front of them, but he never walked away. He never quit on himself. He never quit on the team. Like, for 22 years, whether it was raining, whether it was snowing, whether it was, like, every year he turned up every single day, worked with his team. Every single Saturday, worked with his team. Sunday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday into Europe, like, worked with his team. And, you know, going back to one of the calls that we had, like, with the Australian team a few weeks ago, and this guy's actually going to be one of our speakers in the month of June, he spoke about the first 5 years in network marketing jihadists. You know, the first 5 years of being full-time in network marketing is your hardest. Now, how many people do you know, personally, collectively, that number one, have been in network marketing for 5 years or more, or number two, have been doing it full-time for 5 years or more? Not many people, because too many people quit on themselves. So, you know, honestly, you guys, absolutely amazing. Like, really, really, you know, I knew tonight was going to be good, but it was great. It was really fantastic, and I really enjoyed it. And before I open it up to the floor, and I want to get some questions, and hopefully some of the guys have got some questions tonight, but some of the biggest things that I took away from tonight was that you mentioned a slow start. So many people have been told, have been promised, have been, you know, in their head, it's that six figures, retire from work, 100 grand, you know. So that, for me, that's a massive point, and that's a massive hit home. So anyone that's listening onto this, listen tonight, listen to this call and watch it back, because, you know, I'm so pleased that you said that, because this is not a get rich quick scheme. This is not an overnight success. This is not a, you know, I can retire myself within 24 hours and I can go and buy a house and a yacht and a plane within the first month. The second thing that I wrote down, have fun. You know, you can see that you're having fun. Like, you're doing something together. I know, like, Paul, you're working like extremely hard, but within the business, you're having fun. And like you said, if you're not having fun with this, you're going to get yourself stressed out. You're going to make yourself ill. You're going to end up having an argument, or you're going to fall out with your partner, and the end result is always the same. You're going to quit because you're not having fun. So it's so important to have fun. And the other big thing is potentially the biggest thing that you said tonight is that you do everything from home. And this is something that I said to Anne tonight as well. And I think that there's so many people in the UK that watch, or that see the pictures and the videos of different socials going on up and down the country, and they're in these like the amazing venues, and the food looks unbelievable, and there's loads of bottles of wine to try, and it does look good, you know. And I've been to many of them, and I've had some amazing evenings. But if you can do socials at home with anywhere between 1 and, as the guy said, 12 people, if every single person had a weekly event that hosted 1 to 12 people, no cost, no venue, no hiring. If you want to put on food. But if you don't. You know, I had a fantastic accountability call with Sean Jones this afternoon, and Sean's just started a new job. And I said to Sean, go and find the people in your new workplace that you know that like wine. Build up a conversation with people that you know that like wine, and then set up a WhatsApp group. And then on a Friday night, post a picture of your bottle of wine that you're going to drink from direct sellers. Have a great weekend, guys. And then everyone else posts their same bottle. People are going to come back to Sean and say, I've never seen that before. What's that bottle? Whereas you're going to know what everyone else is going to have, because it's going to be the same bottle from the supermarket or the superstore. So everything from a massive tip. Paul, one of the biggest things that I picked up from you tonight was that from your accountancy point of view, in the fact that year 1 is a loss, year 2 break even, year 3 a profit. And again, that goes back to the whole, well, if I've not made £100,000 in my first month, then I failed. You know, this is, you know, and I said it previously, this is not a short-term success. However, if you can make a profit in your first 3 years of being in business, that's still pretty quick. You know, if you're running a business where you've got no overheads because you've got at least 3 customers, and you've gone dual team qualified, so you've unlocked the keys to get every single bonus payment out there, and you're working with those 2 people, and you're constantly going out and having conversations with people, 3 years is very, very quick to be in profit. So again, for some of you guys tonight, massive, massive, massive takeaway, that is year 1 loss, year 2 break even, year 3 a profit. Other bits and pieces that I've written down, and as I said, I'll open it out to the group in a minute. Be real and be honest. 2 huge things.
Yeah.
Yep.
Huge things. One thing that I can't stand is people being fake. People making fake claims about what they're earning. People being fake claims about what their product does. People being, making fake claims about where they've been or what they're doing or, whatever else. Like, you've got to be real to yourself. And then the final thing that I'm just going to talk about, back office every day. If you're a gym owner, you will be in your reports every day. If you're a salon owner, you'll be in your reports every day. If you go to work and you work in an office, like whatever the environment, you will be in your reports every single day. Like, you're running your business, and that's what you guys are doing. You are running your business. So, bravo to you tonight. As I said, like, absolutely, like, fantastic. So,
I think the other thing is, never ever forget, this is about building relationships.
Yeah.
And building relationships takes time.
Yeah, totally. So I've just put the grid on so I can see everyone's faces. So, question: who would like to ask this super couple a question? Lindsay, there you go. Right, go for it.
Hi, Jerry and Paul. That was brilliant. But I know it's not a race, but how long did it take you to get your 3 customers to get your free wine?
A while.
January, that will be about 10 months.
Okay, that's fabulous.
Yeah. And to be honest, one of mine just dropped out. So I'm looking for a third again. So it takes time. But we found that actually using the, get you 3 for free now is really working. We've got some people to follow up with this week, but we're also focusing on our existing customers getting their wine for free, as opposed to us getting our wine for free.
Yeah, it ripples down.
Yeah.
Okay, fabulous. Thank you.
Anyone else? Any questions?
Yeah, I have Mr. Paul.
Yeah, Raz.
How did I know it was going to be you?
I just knew, because he's unmuted.
I was looking at your screen and I just thought to myself, do you know what? I know the next question is going to be from the milkman.
First of all, Paul, that sexy robotic voice that had going on there for a minute, you had me all in a tangle. You really did.
Well, I was on the Raz last night, so I went to Atlanta. Oh dear.
Yeah. So yeah, my question is, the way that you guys do it is I actually love the fact that you have like a social and you're not really bothered about, I won't say the word bothered, but the outcome. They're there just to have some fun and enjoy the wine. And you know what, if you're a customer, great. If you're a business partner, great. But it's more than them guys having fun going out and talking to their friends about it, which is obviously working really well for you guys. Do you actually do a follow-up with the people that turn up at your house for like a social maybe a couple of days later or anything like that, to contact them to say, did you enjoy it or did you like the wine?
That's my front office. I'll let her answer that.
Yeah, I've just started today. And one of the things actually I was going to ask you, Paul, which is probably not really for today, is what would be a good idea for DC is to have some like lead slips.
Yeah.
So that we can put people's name and address, emails and phone numbers. So then we put it into a basket to draw out the winner of the bottle of wine. So then we've got that information ready at hand to follow up with the next day.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, Jerry, if you can take a picture of that and send it to me, then I'll pass it on to Kevin.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I also want to say to Raz that when we do the wine sort of free draw at the end of the wine tasting, and also we share it with Pampered Chef, we make them fill out a form, their name and their email address, because essentially some people don't want to do that at the beginning or when they want to sign in. But the fact that they're part of the draw, they seem to be more relaxed also after the wine, so then we've got the information. So that's another way of capturing details.
But one of the lead slips last night, the girl put on the back, "Call me."
Yeah, great idea that, Paul. Getting their details early on through a draw, and you can do your follow-ups then. Yeah, really good idea that. Really good idea. No, just keep rocking it, guys. You look as though, and like you say, I'm a big motto of having fun with this as well, and you seem to be rocking it. So well done, both, and great presentation tonight, both of you. Fantastic. Enjoyed it.
Thank you, Raz.
Sean's got a question. Great call.
With the orangutan out of range.
Question: if you started again, what would you do differently? So if you started again, what would you do?
There's some interference.
Yeah, I think what if we started again, what would we do differently? I think the problem, of course, is it's the challenge of time, and obviously management of time, because I would say the first year, because of the travels that I've done and the travels that maybe, to a full-time job and leaving Jerry to go through the network marketing, I would actually step back and say, plan our time differently.
I think also when you're doing, like I'll do a presentation of 1 or 2 groups, depending on how long I've got, not long, maybe a minute or so. I did once ask the question, who likes wine? You're always going to get one that said, I don't like, you know what I'm saying? So be careful about how you pose questions to people. So you're not putting them on the spot. So it's been a bit of a learning curve to when you stood up in front of people, and just be yourself, and just look as though you're having really a lot of fun, and tell them that you're hosting wine tasting parties if you're interested, and and people love it. I mean, last night was amazing.
So to do anything different?
I don't know that I would, because it's a learning curve, because you have to find out for yourself what works, what's maybe not working so well, how can we improve it? Do you know what I'm saying? So it's an ongoing thing, and you have to start somewhere.
Yeah, and I would also say the actual linking with the pampered chef in our case, we could have started that earlier if we actually had come across that.
Well, I think it was just the fact that she was busy. There was a couple of people that we're trying to work with, and they were busy, and I just think that when it happened, it was the right time. So
thank you.
You're welcome.
And as Paul said, don't give in. If you think, well, he's doing better than me, forget about it. Just you do what you do, and just keep doing it. Personal development as well. Every morning, I do, as probably know, I do a bit of meditation, I do some personal development, and I journal. Those 3 things I do before and a cup of tea. My cup of tea is probably first.
7 in the morning, no wine.
And it's Yorkshire tea.
Jodie Hughes has said, Jerry, I absolutely love you. So I thought I'd give you that one.
Oh, well, thank you.
Has anyone else got any questions? Has anyone else got any questions that they want to ask these guys?
If anyone wants to contact us, like a personal message or on Facebook, then please feel free. We're always around, and if we can help in any way, then that's great. I would also suggest, if you're doing some socials, use a wine pourer, because you're delivering these are 2-ounce ones. So you get quite a few out of a bottle.
Paul, just before we leave, so we're just talking about the number of people at the parties. So I get a little bit nervous when it gets over 12, but we've been to 18. And 18, then they start to segment into little cliques. So you've got to be careful about the numbers. So 12 to 15 is probably the borderline. So if you obviously have 18, then the 1-ounce pours will give you something like 24 pours a bottle. This is my accounting coming in. And then if you're doing 2-ounce pours, it's about 12. So it depends on the size of the audience, depending on how you want to spend the money in terms of the bottle of wine.
And also at the end of the wine tasting, last night we did, I think we went through 1 bottle of each white, 1 bottle of each red. But if we take an extra couple of bottles, one's for the drawing, the raffle, and the other one or 2, if there's any left, if people have a preference, I ask them, which wines did you like the best? Would you like to taste more? And we leave them with something. If we're going to leave then they can continue. But generally, if people want to sign up for something, we try and do it there and then. So we'll take our laptops with us, and if people are wanting to sign up to be a customer, fine. If they don't, and they want me to call them, or, you know, and so you have to, you know, you learn by your mistakes. But I would say to you, at the end of the day, if people are enjoying it, which they do, that's the most important thing, because that is what they'll be thinking about.
Totally. Lindsay's per question, what other things other than the pourer do you take to your socials?
Right, so we have obviously the wine. We have some, we use proper glasses, stemless glasses. So I always ask the hostess, have you got enough wine glasses? Would you like me to bring some? Because I don't want to put the expense on them. Like last night, I took, my friend had already got some wine glasses, and I'd left a few from the one that she had a couple of weeks ago. So we took some wine, I took some cheeses, and I took some salami, as I said, prosciutto, and I forgot the grapes because I was rushing. So we all pitch in, really.
No, but you'd also generally we have a checklist.
Yes,
okay?
we do.
And the checklist is making sure that we don't forget anything. We haven't even mentioned about that we buy wine bags to people.
Oh yeah,
so we buy wine.
All of those. So if we get a new business builder, we give them a gift. And we have a friend of ours that's with 31 bags, and so we order these specially made, with a logo on, but they are cooler bags. And they've got pockets in the front where we put the tasting notes, and they hold 6 bottles of wine. So I've got one in my car to give Geneva, who was signed up, but she's been on holiday, tomorrow. And we'll be placing another order. We've just placed another order for the people that we go into tomorrow night. So it's just to say thank you, really, but we put the DC Wines logo. Go on.
So maybe just answer that. So when we prepare a wine tasting, so we have a checklist, say the pourers, the glasses, the tasting notes, the actual choosing of the wines that go with the food that we're going to potentially serve. So we take some of the food, and our partner from the Pampered Chef does. So we do hot and cold food, and essentially any cards, any sort of flyers, and any brochures. And now we've got the banner. We're going to be taking the banner with us as well. So that's the sort of checklist idea, that you won't forget anything in that case. I mean, obviously the wine bag.
You know, you can actually do, you know, a raffle with just a wine opener if you want, just something that they can take away with you, but preferable if it's got something to do with DC, it's better. I was going to say, forgotten now, it's gone. Oh yes, and ladies, I'm going to have to share a recipe with you, because this is called, it's like a chocolate fondue. So she puts this fondue in a slow cooker, and it's a combination of obviously dark chocolate, caramel flavouring, and what they call heavy cream over here, so it would be double cream or extra thick cream over there, and strawberries, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So
Why is that only for ladies? Because I like it.
Because she goes to more ladies' parties than I do, so she goes network marketing with the ladies.
No, you like it, I tell you. I've got a secret stash in the fridge.
We've got a couple more questions, and then we're going to finish it off. Courtney from down under, all the way in Australia. Have you ever held a stall at markets or an expo before?
I've done it with a previous company, and it didn't work for me. I've tried it several times. It's keeping track of people. If people are coming by, some just want to, to drink the wine. I've not done it with the DC wines, but people want samples. They want, you know, and you don't always get their information. And even when you've got their information,
they've lied.
Yeah, we've had bogus people put stuff down. So we don't do that. I think we like the personal touch, to be honest, because that's how people get to know you.
Yeah, I think that the thing is you have to look at the market you're in and see if it makes sense for you.
Yeah.
For us, it didn't make sense for us. But I have seen people go on what I call trade fairs and have the store out and DC wines. and they put 3 or 4 bottles out and essentially some details about DC. But I've never really seen a very active store that does that. But that's why we don't do it, because we don't get many returns out of it.
Yeah, I know the girls, they basically booked up I think it's the Food and Wine Expo in Australia, so they've covered the 4 corners of Australia, and I think that each expo is going to be in excess of 30,000 people over the weekend. So, I'm excited to see what the girls can do over there. I still don't know what you're doing up court at this time of the morning. It must be, I don't know what time of the day it is over there at the moment. I don't know, I hate to think about it. Lindsay said, would you be able to send your checklist or print out your checklist or snap it and put it into the group?
Yes.
Jodie Huge, my hubby made some awesome wine gifts that I'm thinking could be a sideline here. 100%.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. It's adding your personal touch.
Yeah, I've seen the gifts. They're fantastic. They're
share them.
Brilliant.
If share them, that would be great. There was something from Lindsay, I think, about do I do the socials on my own, or I do socials on my own with the hostess. If it's at someone's house, so with the hostess, I do quite a lot, because we do get a lot of just women's events. Couples events, we get together. Paul come to women's events anyway, but
But generally, when I'm in town and it's at the weekend, I can do an event. But if it's in the week, like a Wednesday, Thursday, I'm not here. So generally, we'll do it on our own. Out of the 2 of us.
Beverly's asked, can you post the recipe as well? The female-only recipe.
So Paul, that was really for you, wasn't it?
Sorry, but chocolate and wine, you know what I mean.
The only question that I've got really is, how do you find the US market? How do you find, like, being from England, where we're so skeptical as a country and as a nation, especially when it comes to, we know you're female, Raz, especially when it comes to network marketing and the whole pyramid scheme, and everyone thinks that America's got easy success. And so what's it like over there? What is it like from a British couple living in America, running a network marketing company? What are the barriers? What's the feedback?
The best bit is our accent.
Yeah.
So they still ask, oh, will you just keep talking? That kind of thing. But obviously, it's like anything else. They have to get to know you.
Yeah. And
that takes time. So it's no different whatsoever.
There's a different approach here as well, Paul. And really, to answer that, Nina, we know Nina, when she does her wine tasting, it's a real razzmatazz, and it's a push, and you can earn money, and you can do that. It's a different approach. Most of her audience are brought in essentially with that sort of concept and that knowledge and what they're going to be doing, and they bring friends. But that's not been our cup of tea, really.
Yeah.
We've always focused on like Jerry says, the relationship and building trust. And there's a different audience completely. And there's obviously a lot of competition out there. But Nina's approach didn't really gel with us. We haven't been successful with it. And that's what we said. We have to rethink about what we want to do. And that's where we went to the niche. Yeah. So we haven't really been back to Nina's wine tasting for about 6 months now.
No, we haven't. Yeah. Well,
we took some guests and they didn't particularly like it either. So
I think it's just the fact, it's just a different way of promoting it. And you have to find your own niche. We love her. We're always on, we get on her calls and everything. She's very motivational. But you have to kind of find what works for you.
And again, that's another big nugget. What works for you works for you. What works for me may not work for you, and what works for you may not work for me. And this is where, again, going back to the beginning, no overnight success, no get rich quick scheme. Nina's a powerhouse.
Yeah.
Nina is an absolute. She's a phenomenal woman that's had an incredible success. Only person that was with her previous company that made $100,000 and lost £100 in weight. Like, never been done. And so, but that won't work for everyone. And so this may be a slow burner for us. But what I do know, and I do know that the people are on this call, and I do know that there's people in the group that are loyal. And I've said this back to PJ, and I've said it to Austin, I've said it to Nina, I've said it to Ken, I've said it to PJ. We have got a real core group of loyal people in the UK that are not going anywhere. They love the concept, they love the company, they love the team spirit, they love the ethics that we've created ourselves. We've done this ourselves. Like what we've got here, we've done it ourselves. Yes, we've got the support of corporate, but this right here on this screen now is what we have done ourselves. And that's something that you guys should all be proud of, because we'll look back at this in 5 years' time or in 10 years' time. And when we talk about systems, we created it. Like we made our own systems. We made our own culture. We didn't come into culture. We didn't come into systems. We came into a company that was just starting up, that was ground floor. And without every single person on this call right now, direct sellers wouldn't be here in the UK. So if you're going to take one bit of information away tonight, and if you're going to, if you need picking up, then know this, that every single person on this call tonight and every single person in that group in the UK Titans of Wine is a founding member, is someone that can always say to their kids or their kids' kids or their family or their friends, I was part of direct sellers when it started. So with that, guys, I know it's, we've been on for nearly an hour tonight, and the majority of people have stayed on. So again, bravo to you. As I said to you at the beginning, I knew tonight was going to be good, but tonight was great. It was absolutely fantastic. So I really do appreciate you guys, and I'm so glad I got to spend time with you in Vegas. I just apologise for my friend Anthony Raspin boring.
I think we've got the car of him now.
so we're going to see you in New Orleans.
Oh, New
right?
Orleans, yeah.
Exactly. So absolutely amazing. I'll get the recording out tonight. Next week we've got another rock star on. We've got another superstar on. Alicia Johns is going to join us from Australia. Wow. It's going to be 6 a.m. in the morning from Alicia. The following week we've got Mr. John Gilbert. So for some of you, you may not have heard of him, or you've definitely not spoken to him, but John is like PJ's partner in crime. John is a seasoned networker, made multi-millions of dollars in the industry. He's going to be joining us for our very first call. Never, ever, ever has John done a call with us before. And then to close the month of May off, we've got a guy called Joseph Newman, who is Nina's nephew. 19 years, no, I think he's 22 years of age now.
Wow.
At 18, when he was 18 years of age, Nina showed him how to make $80,000 a year, and he used every single penny or dime or cent, whatever, to put into his own education. So I'm really looking forward to that. We've now tonight confirmed the speakers for June. So I don't know if I should tell you that tonight, or I should wait for a few weeks. But yeah, no, I'm not going to tell you that tonight. But
you tease you.
we've got four great speakers, and we've got a couple from this group. We've got a leader in the network marketing industry. We've got a guy from Australia. And we've got someone from the corporate team that, again, has never been on the call. So, as I said, we're bringing the best of the best. And tonight has been absolutely fantastic. So, as always, I really do appreciate every single person jumping on tonight. Next week I will be on. I'll be coming from Barbados.
Oh.
But I will be on. I will be hosting the call. Whatever the weather, whatever the time, wherever the country, I will be on. But Paul, Jerry, thank you so much. I'll get this call up. I'll get this recording up. But for the rest of you, enjoy the rest of your night. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Have a fantastic Friday. Have an amazing weekend. And we'll be back on Monday night at 8:30 with our opportunity call. So appreciate you guys. Thank you very much.
Wayne, go get some wine. Okay.
Thank you. Bye.
It's all right.
Cheers, guys. Thank you so much.
Thanks.